Kia ora, and welcome to Sign Music Learning. I'm David Ray. This video is about BandLab versus Soundtrap. Which one should you use for NCEA music? And the answer is quite simple. If you're setting up a music tech program on Chromebooks and you're trying to decide between BandLab and Soundtrap, this is the 5-minute version. No fluff, just what matters for your classroom and your NCEA submissions. Here's the short answer. If you wanted something free with zero setup friction, start with BandLab. If your school already uses Google Classroom and you want a built-in classroom management setup, Soundtrap is worth the small cost. Let me show you why and where each one hits its limits. BandLab is completely free, first of all, with unlimited tracks and unlimited projects. No premium tier blocking core features. This matters when you've got 30 students and no budget. It runs straight into a Chromebook browser, no install needed. The trade-off, mixing takes a bit more manual work. Unlike Soundtrap, BandLab doesn't auto-apply mix-ready effects to its new tracks, so your students will need to learn EQ and levels themselves, which honestly is a good idea for their NCEA understanding, since moderators want to see their mixing decisions, not a preset doing the work. One thing to flag for enrollment, BandLab requires parental consent for students under 18. That will be sorted if your school is a Google school or you've set up Google accounts within your school before term 1. The parental consents will already be in place. But if not, you might want to check that. Export options are solid too. You can export an MP3 or WAV, whereas Soundtrap only allows you to have MP3, which is a lesser quality recording. So if you're going to learn on one in 2026, this is the one to learn. Currently, the features may change in future years, but looking at the payment plans and the systems and the setup and the fact that Soundtrap is owned by Spotify, I think BandLab is the better way to go because it's not as money hungry. Cool. Soundtrap is owned by Spotify, and its biggest classroom advantage is integration. It plugs straight into Google Classroom, Canvas, or Schoolology with a single sign-in, so your students log in with the account that they have already used for everything else. Production-wise, Soundtrap sets up new tracks with sensible starting effects, so students get like a mix-ready start a point faster. It's useful if you're short on class time, but there is a catch. The free tier doesn't give you the full loop library, the effects, or the automation. Automation's really important. Just pushing A on BandLab will just take you straight away. Look at this. Straight away to automation, and I can change anything I like right here. Nice and easy. Looking at the keyboard roll, it's as simple as me adding a virtual instrument in here. Going, there we go. Awesome. Now, one thing that I have noted is that on here, the keyboard roll of BandLab isn't quite as good as over here, where you've got a bigger spread because you've got a 2-octave spread, or even, 2-octave spread. So, user interface wise, in terms of if you're using the keyboard rather than importing or bringing in your own MIDI keyboard, that would mean that Soundtrap is a little bit more user-friendly, but I'd still create whatever your keys track is, bounce it out of Soundtrap, and then put it into BandLab if you wish, because the functionality and the fact that you can enter something that's MIDI, let's just say, for example, I've got this here, and it was wildly out of time or whatever, I can click on everything that's in here, hit Control A, and then hit Quantize and move it into time. So that is a nice feature. I can also transpose, and I can humanize it if I want to give it some feel, and all of these options are in the free tier, so it's really, really handy to have straight off the bat. So there you have it. If you are looking for the best option for your classroom, the answer is empirically BandLab.